Have you ever felt like your life isn't as lucky or exciting as everyone else's when you scroll through Instagram or TikTok? You see people traveling nonstop, showing off their dream bodies, landing amazing jobs, and living what looks like the perfect life, while you feel like you're just stuck in the same place. If that's you, pause for a second. It doesn't necessarily mean you've failed. You might just be trapped in the illusion of comparison that social media creates. And in this video, I'm going to break down 4 psychological techniques that can help you stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own process again. Honestly, this can completely shift the way you see your life. Let's get into it. The first thing people often forget about social media is that it's curated. It's not the full reality. Curated means filtered, selected. What you see on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter is just a small slice of someone's life, the slice they chose to show you. Maybe you see a friend posting stories every day about traveling, hanging out at fancy restaurants, and showing off their cool job. It looks like they're always happy. But what you don't see is them lying awake at night, overthinking, stressing about unpaid bills, feeling burned out after 10-hour workdays, dealing with messy family drama, or sitting with a loneliness they never share. You only see the highlight reel, not the backstage chaos. And then you compare your raw reality with their edited reality. It's like looking at a before and after photo of someone wearing makeup and then feeling ugly because you don't look like the after picture. Of course, it doesn't match. One is raw, the other has gone through a whole process. Social media isn't a mirror. It's more like a store display window, showing the most polished, most attractive version to make you want to step inside. The same goes for lifestyle posts, relationship highlights, or career milestones. It's not necessarily fake, but it's definitely incomplete. And here's the funny part. We all play the same game. Think about the last time you uploaded a photo. You probably picked the best angle, used the best filter, and wrote the most aesthetic caption. You didn't post a picture of yourself lying in bed at 2 a.m. thinking, "What am I doing with my life?" That's reality too, but we don't share it. Since everyone is playing this illusion game, we slowly start believing that what we see online is the standard for real life. And that's where the damage begins, not because other people are happy, but because we feel pressured to match a life that isn't even real. The truth is, everyone has their own timeline. Success isn't a race. It's more like a marathon. You can't compare your chapter 2 with someone else's chapter 20. Sometimes what we really need isn't some huge motivational speech, but just a gentle reminder that what we see online is only a snippet, not the whole movie. You wouldn't judge a film just from its trailer, and you shouldn't judge someone's or your own life based on their Instagram feed. So next time you find yourself scrolling and suddenly feeling less than, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is curation, not a mirror. Now, here's where psychology comes in. A lot of the feelings of being stuck, anxious, or insecure don't come from our actual life being a mess, but from the toxic stories we keep repeating in our heads. For example, maybe your friend just bought a new car. Instantly, your brain whispers, "Wow, I'm still riding a motorbike at this age. My life sucks." But maybe you've just finished paying off student loans, you're supporting your parents, and you're saving little by little. That's progress. But because your brain keeps running a negative narrative, you don't value it. In psychology, there's a technique called cognitive reframing. It's basically about changing the way you interpret an event so you're not stuck in a negative loop. Reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself or forcing fake positivity. It's more like putting on a different pair of glasses. The event doesn't change, but the way you look at it does. Say you failed a job interview. The default narrative might be, "I'm just not good enough. Everyone else is smarter than me." But let's reframe it. Yes, I failed that interview, but that doesn't mean I failed in life. It just shows me where I need to improve. And the fact that I'm willing to try again after failing, that strength. See? Same situation, but a healthier, more empowering story. Or maybe you see your friend married with kids while you're still single and building your career. The default narrative is, I'm falling behind. My life isn't going anywhere. But a reframe could be, I'm just in a different phase of life. And that's okay. I'm building a solid foundation now, so I can have a stable future later. Getting married early doesn't guarantee happiness, and marrying later doesn't mean failure. The story changes, and with it, your energy and direction. Negative thoughts can feel like they're on autopilot. Something triggers your insecurity, and suddenly your brain starts playing the same old tape. You're late. You're not good enough. Others are better. You'll never make it. That's why reframing is so powerful, it breaks the loop. Each time a toxic thought comes up, ask yourself, is this story really true? Is there another way to see this? If my best friend were in my shoes, would I speak to them this harshly? Usually, we're way crueler to ourselves than we'd ever be to someone we care about. But we deserve kinder thoughts too. And here's the thing, reality is often out of our control. But the way we see and respond to reality, that's always in our hands. Changing your narrative won't magically solve every problem overnight, but it will make you feel stronger, lighter, and more in control. Reframing isn't magic, but with practice, it can completely shift how empowered you feel in your own life. Because most of the time, it's not life itself that drains us, it's the harsh way we talk to ourselves about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you to delete all your social media accounts or do a full digital detox. That's not realistic. We live in the scroll era, me included. But here's the truth. Social media is like a knife. Used consciously, it's a useful tool. Used carelessly, it cuts you. This is where mindful exposure comes in. It means using social media intentionally, not mindlessly scrolling until you've wasted hours and ruined your mood. Be honest, how many times have you opened Instagram just for a minute, and then suddenly 45 minutes are gone? And the longer you scroll, the worse you feel. You started out just wanting entertainment, but ended up feeling insecure because everyone else's life looks better. That's not entirely your fault. The algorithm is literally designed to keep you hooked by feeding you content that triggers envy, anger, or the urge to compete. So what can you do? Start with small moments of awareness. Before you open an app, ask yourself, why am I opening this right now? Am I bored? Do I need a break? Am I avoiding my own thoughts? The answer doesn't have to be perfect, but at least you'll be conscious of it. Awareness is step one in taking back control. Then set small boundaries. Don't open social media first thing in the morning when your mind is fresh. It sets the tone for the whole day. Try a digital rest hour before bed. Turn off notifications from the apps that steal your attention the most. Use screen time limits. Mindful exposure also means curating your feed. Ask yourself, how many accounts do I follow just because I want to be like them, but every time I see their posts, I feel worse about myself? Unfollow without guilt. Not because they're bad people, but because it's bad for you. Replace them with accounts that actually bring value content that teaches you, makes you think, or shows the real process, not just the shiny results. Instead of endless success flex posts, follow creators who share the behind-the-scenes struggles of building a small business or the ups and downs of their personal growth. That way, you'll be reminded that everyone has a process, and so do you. At the end of the day, you can use social media to grow, but only if you stay in control, not the algorithm. Scroll, but stay aware. Open the app, but remember to close it too. Because in the end, your life isn't shaped by how perfect your Instagram feed looks, but by how consciously you live each day offline. And here's a big mindset shift. Stop obsessing over results. Everyone wants instant success, quick money, perfect bodies, the dream life. But life doesn't work like a microwave. It's more like a slow cooker. The process takes time, but the results go deeper. Unfortunately, most of us were raised to focus only on results, grades, rankings, achievements while effort and growth rarely got praised. So now, when the results aren't perfect, we think, I'm a failure. I'm not talented. I just can't. But growth doesn't come from talent, it comes from process. This is what psychologists call a growth identity. Seeing yourself not as someone who has to arrive, but as someone who is always evolving. With a growth identity, failure doesn't mean the end. It just means, okay, what can I learn? How do I get better next time? You treat life like an experiment, not a test you either pass or fail. So instead of obsessing over outcomes, focus on habits. Don't say, I need 10,000 followers this month. Say, I'll post 3 times a week consistently. Don't say, I must lose 5 kilos. Say, I'll work out for 30 minutes each morning and cut down on sugar. Results aren't fully in your control, but habits are. Also, track your progress. Our brains are biased. We often feel like we're not moving forward when, in reality, we've made a lot of growth. Write it down. Use a journal, a checklist, or even notes on your phone. When you look back, you'll see how far you've come. And don't wait for big wins to celebrate. Celebrate small progress. Woke up earlier today? That's a win. Said no to procrastination and worked out? That's a win. You don't need a party, you just need to acknowledge yourself. Too often, we're quick to criticize ourselves, but stingy with self-praise. Flip that balance. Lastly, stop rushing to claim an identity. Don't wait until you're a real writer to write or a real creator to create. Do the actions first, consistently, and the identity will follow. It's not about labels, it's about habits. So here's the reminder. You don't have to quit social media entirely. You just need to stop comparing your journey with someone else's highlight reel. Everyone has their own timeline. And trust me, just walking your own path, step by step, is already something to be proud of. Now I want to hear from you. What's the number one thing on social media that makes you feel insecure? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and we can learn from each other. And if this video gave you a new perspective, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who needs this reminder. Don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe so more people can start living their best version of life. And if you want to support this channel further, you can join as a member by clicking the join button below. See you in the next video, and as always, keep upgrading your mind.